Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Carl Fitzpatrick.
Southeast Radio.
Welcome back to Southeast Radio's Business Matters with me, Carl Fitzpatrick. Well, Brexit was back in the news this week when a leaked British government letter suggested that exporters to the UK could face possible truck queues at ports of 7,000 vehicles if the industry does not prepare. A key complication for exporters and importers arising out of Brexit is in relation to customs declarations, and I'm joined now by Mick Curran from the Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport to demystify this particular area. Mick, over 94,000 Irish companies have traded with the UK over the past 18 months, all of which will be affected by economic Brexit just 97 days from now. But how exactly will they be affected?
Well, knowing what we know now, as of the 1st of January, the UK will become what is termed as a third country. A third country is a country with which we do not have, I suppose, a formal trading relationship. I suppose what that means in a nutshell is we're going to go back to 1992. Every good we move into the UK, through the UK, or import from the UK will require a customs declaration. And I suppose once upon a time, this is a skill set that we had, and we had in spades in this country because we're very good at trading. That skill set ceased in 1993 with the advent of the single market. So we've had a massive skills loss that we need to ramp up fairly quickly for the 1st of January, or goods just won't move.
So how is the Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport playing a role here?
I suppose we're in a very lucky position. We're the professional body for those employed in the logistics sector, the transport and logistics sector. We also work with SkillNet, the Irish National Training Agency. And last year we were contacted by SkillNet with a view to putting together a training program for preparing people for Brexit. And I suppose working with SkillNet, we came down to the practicalities. And the practicalities that we could see is, well, how do people actually make a customs declaration, get goods in and out of Ireland? So we started this program last July. By September 19, we had our first learners on the program. By year end, we had trained 668 people in how to make customs declarations, which, like when you look at the 94,000 companies that have over last year traded with the UK, it's but a drop in the ocean. So government this year recognised this was the value of what we did with SkillNet, and they gave us additional funding to start again. So we've only just started our pilot programs again because we're testing a new product. Last year we trained using an instructor-led model over 5 days. Now we've kind of gone into the 21st century. We're using app-based learning with instructor backup as well. And all going well, touch wood, everything is looking really well so far. We're going to train 3,000 people this year in how to make customs declarations.
So, Mick, the Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport has partnered with SkillNet to develop a clear customs programme. It's delivered online 1 day a week over 5 weeks, and it's free of charge. But what can
Absolutely.
attendees expect from the programme itself?
I suppose what you can expect is, first thing is we'll give you, I suppose, an appreciation of what's involved in customs. Because no point just showing you how to fill out the 54 boxes. We're giving an appreciation of international trade and how and why customs happen. After that, what we're doing is we're taking you through how to make a declaration. What goes into every box? Why is that box important? Why does so much more detail go into that box? And I suppose at the end of it, you'll have the mechanics. You'll know how to make a customs declaration. You'll know how to use the software that's available to make a customs declaration. So I suppose by the end of it, you will be able to make a customs declaration. At worst, you'll get an appreciation of international trade. At the absolute worst, if you never make a declaration after that, you'll get a proper appreciation of international trade, and you will be able to go back to your business in whatever part of the country you're in and say, do you know what? There's a lot more to this than I thought. Let's see if we can outsource. Or come back, do you know what? We're only actually exporting 4 different SKUs, 4 different items. It wouldn't be that hard to set up 4 different templates for that. And we can just bring it in-house. It's not going to cost us a fortune. You know, we can keep trading. So I think what it will give is just information to allow businesses to make a decision, because I think that's missing at the moment. It's out there, but it's not all in the one place. So what we do is like our first day lasts 6 hours and it's fully online. After that, you get access to an app on the Google or Play Store, doesn't matter, or sorry, the Google Play Store or the iOS Store, and it's self-directed learning on the app. After every week, you get a 1-hour virtual class with a trainer. Now, the trainers we use are all customs experts. They've all got 20 plus years in the customs game. We do that for 4 weeks, and on the 5th week, you do an exam. And the exam is making a live customs declaration that is what I call bounced off the revenue system, and it goes green or red. If it goes green, do you know what? You just made a live customs declaration. Well done. If it goes red, you made a mistake. Let's look at it again. So at worst. Also, the course is QQI accredited by IT Carlo. So what you will also get out of it is 10 credits at level 6, which can become part of a major or a minor award. So the worst that's going to happen is you get a bit of education.
And in relation to your Clear Customs training programme, on that basis, what's the background of the people that you're attracting to it?
If you look at the 94,000 companies that we have actually trading with the UK on an annual basis, they're everything from, I suppose, importing clothes to exporting food, to exporting pharma, to exporting agri. It's every sector you can imagine. And the people doing the courses, like we've sole traders, the cheesemaker in West Kerry's I like to talk about. They're a sole trader. They're the only employee. They will have to make their own customs declarations as of the 1st of January if they can't find someone to make them for them. We also have employees of multinational, large agri-food companies. We have the employees of customs brokers, people who were taken on, I suppose, for Brexit. And we've people, I suppose, from the freight forwarding industry. We've hauliers. We've everything. We've everyone, because it's not just a case of one sector of our economy is going to be dealing with the UK in only one sector. It's everyone.
And of course, Mick, there is a requirement for anyone that's involved in importing or exporting to or through the UK to register with the revenue for an economic operator's registration and identification number. What is it required for?
I suppose it's your unique identifier. It's like your passport number. It's an economic operator's passport number is the best way to describe it. And when you're trading with a third country from the EU, you need an EORI number. Now, an EORI number takes you approximately 4 minutes to apply for and get on the revenue website. But we've over 50,000 companies of the 94,000 who are trading with the UK who have not, as of yet, applied for that.
Why do you think so many Irish businesses that are involved in exporting into or through the UK are leaving it so late?
I think everyone's been hoping for a deal. I think everyone's hoping for a deal and just make the bad man go away on this one. You know, make it so that we can just go back to trading as we always did. That I can just put the stuff in the back of a truck, put a commercial invoice on it, and away it goes, and it won't be bothered or stopped or anything. That's what everyone's hoping for. And being honest, that's what I'm hoping for as well. That would be lovely to see. It would be really lovely to see. Unfortunately, it's not. I wish it was. I really wish it was. And I think everyone trading with the UK would wish exactly the same thing. But the States would love it as well. But the States is investing in preparing for the complete opposite as well. Like the States being very, very pragmatic on this one. And I think it's just customs can be very, very scary. I suppose the whole area is scary because it's a skill we've lost and it's something we have forgotten about. And we see it as, do we really need to do this? And everyone's just hoping that it will eventually be all right in the night. But, 3.5 months out, I wouldn't be holding my breath.
Now, of course, by the end of this year, businesses trading either with or through the UK will be subject to a range of new customs formalities and other regulatory requirements. Now, these changes will happen regardless of the outcome of the ongoing negotiations, Mick, won't they?
As far as I can see, yes. Like, we've ongoing negotiations now. I suppose the best place we can look to see what a negotiation looks like is the last American-Canadian trade deal. It took 7 years to get to where they actually got to. Funny enough, we don't have 7 years. Unless some miracle is going to happen, I think on the 1st of January, you will have a requirement to make customs declarations, either exporting to the UK or importing from the UK. You'll also have a requirement to make declarations if you're transiting through the UK. And remember, 80% of our imports by volume from mainland Europe come via the land bridge in the UK. So the size of the problem cannot, and I suppose should not be understated. I suppose a lot of companies are actually ready. A lot of companies engaged very early on because I suppose they had the resources to do so. Intertrade Ireland, Enterprise Ireland, Department of Enterprise Business Innovation, Department of Taoiseach, they all got out early. And I suppose they were just trying to get people, and revenue, especially revenue, they're just trying to get people to engage, to get people to be ready for it. Unfortunately, not everyone actually engaged. And I suppose they're now trying to play catch up with 4 months to go, or 3 months to go, which is not a great place to be.
And Mick, it's estimated that the number of customs declarations required will increase from 1.6 million a year to an estimated 20 million after the UK's departure from the Customs Union and Single Market in December 2020. But from a practical perspective, what is involved in completing a customs declaration?
I suppose the best, here's where it gets ironic. A customs declaration is filled out on a SAD, a single administrative document, SAD. Now, the ironic part is there's up to 19 other documents that accompany that single administrative document. That's the irony of it. A customs declaration itself is comprised of 54 boxes, 54 different pieces of information. Now, some pieces of information are quite simplistic. The name of the shipper, that's easy. Some boxes in the declaration, there is, I know on one of the boxes, there's 166 pages of explanation on the revenue website as to what is required in that box. So it's quite a specialised tasking. And an issue we have here is we have lost that skill set. We've lost people with 10, 20, 30 years experience in the making of customs declarations. There's still a few of them there because in fairness, they're still making 1.6 million declarations a year. Now, they're not running with so much spare capacity that they can immediately fill in that gap of 18.4 million declarations or whatever the number is. That's the best estimate that revenue can give. And you know what? I'd say it'll be fairly close. I hope it's no more than that.
And is it true to say that there's a huge shortage of customs brokers operating in Ireland at present?
Absolutely. If you look at the value of our trade with the UK, it's 30-odd billion on an annual basis. And up till now, that hasn't required any customs declarations. Each and every one of those items, that move will require a customs declaration. The amount of customs brokers we have in Ireland, it's 23. And they're not running with so much spare capacity, or they wouldn't be in business, that they could take on those 20 million declarations. I think they will do great inroads into it, and they are expanding. And I suppose we've recently seen the grant of €9,000 being paid to companies to take on people for customs clearance. You know, that's welcome. I think that will help the customs brokerages grow.
The government is providing a grant of €9,000 per employee, taken on or redeployed to enable businesses to build their capacity to manage any customs changes. But how should a company decide whether to invest in-house on developing a customs capacity or to outsource it to an external customs intermediary?
First thing is go to the market, see if you can find a customs intermediary who'll actually take your business, and that's the job to do now, today, tomorrow morning. If you are exporting to the UK right now, it doesn't matter what you're exporting, unless you're moving the product to the UK yourself. If you're using a haulier, advice I would give is go to your haulier or your freight forwarder and say, look, on the 1st of January, I'm going to keep trading with the UK. Will you or can you recommend someone to make my declarations for me? And they will say yes, or they will say no. And if they cannot recommend anyone, and after a couple of days looking, it doesn't take long to look for customs brokers, you cannot find anyone to make your declarations for you, then it's quite simple. Either you develop the in-house capability yourself, or you stop trading with the UK. It is that simple. This is not going to go away. This really is not going to go away. There is no technological solution to this that we can just trip a switch and, everything's going to be grand. Customs have been going on for the last 300 years. Yeah,
there is a perception out there amongst some aspects of the business community that as soon as the 20-mile tailbacks start coming out of Dover Port, that at that stage a deal will be done and there will be no requirement for any declarations or anything else to be completed thereafter.
Being honest, that I don't think will not wash with the World Trade Organization, which will be the rules under which we are operating. Because the UK, with the 20-mile tailback, will be a member of the single market or not. Or they will have a trading relationship with us or not. And if they don't have a formal trading relationship with us, we'll be trading under World Trade Organization rules. And they do not allow for dispensation of customs declarations. It is that simple. Unless there is a deal with a formal trading relationship worked out, then there is no deal. And if there is no deal, we're working under customs declarations, full customs declarations, and all that entails.
And Mick, during the week I did see that BDO and Fexco have joined forces to introduce a new online customs clearance service called Declarant to assist firms that will face a deluge of unfamiliar paperwork to comply with customs requirements after Brexit. How exactly are they adding value?
I suppose it's like going back to the customs broker of old. That's exactly what they're doing. They're taking the work out of it. And it's brilliant to see companies like this actually take the initiative and investing in a product like this. So there's quite a few of them. They're not the only company doing it. People will also have the ability to make declarations on their own on the revenue website. Not quite yet, once they register as traders. That will be a possibility as well. Like, we shouldn't discount people's ability to help themselves. If I'm a cheesemaker in West Kerry, I keep referring to cheesemaker in West Kerry. They don't actually exist, I think. And I'm exporting 1 pallet of cheese to the UK a week. There's nothing to stop me engaging the services of, I suppose, a custom software provider, and there are quite a few out there, that I can set up my declaration as a template. And all I'm changing on a weekly basis is maybe 4 boxes. So from a cost-effective perspective, that's a very cost-effective way of doing it, because that cheesemaker in West Kerry could be, it's a micro-industry. It could be a one-person operation. And their pallet goes on a Thursday morning, but on a Tuesday evening, sit down, right, have my pallet ready, I'll now do my declarations. And by using a third-party provider, I'm sure Declarant do exactly the same thing, they can also create a UK import declaration at the same time. So that option is there as well. But for Declarant, there's a massive market out there. They'll be very successful with this. But it is going to cost. To buy a declaration right now from one of the customs brokers is in the region of 35 to 50 euros per declaration. And the declaration doesn't cover the whole truck, by the way. If you've 50 different items going to 50 different places, that's 50 different declarations.
One of the other concerns that I'm hearing from business owners across the southeast is that they're fearful and concerned about the length of time in which they need to hold these declarations for.
Yes, 7 years you have to retain all the documentation with it. I suppose what most people are doing is they're filing electronically. It's just extra gigabytes. Once you file it once and you retain it, if you do it electronically, it's no great load. But it is what it is. There's the rules we're operating under, unfortunately. There's no way around that. And I suppose that's what customs brokers have been doing for years, is they were storing that for people.
Well, if you've just tuned in, that was Mick Curran, the CEO of the Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport, and I'd like to thank Mick for providing us with such valuable information on this morning's show. With just 97 days to go before economic Brexit becomes a reality, it's time to take action for those that are involved in importing or exporting into or through the UK. And as we've discussed this morning, there's a whole range of government supports available, so please do engage with them.
Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Carl Fitzpatrick.